Welcome to Extra Throttle House. I'm Thomas.
And I'm James.
And you're joined today by us, a Fiat X19 and a lawnmower in the distance.
Yeah, sorry about the lawnmower.
Yeah.
Anyway, we reached out on Instagram and we asked if anyone in Toronto had something funky for us to film.
This qualifies as that.
This qualifies. We've got a huge list and we're starting with this, the Fiat X19. You're looking at a mid-engined baby Ferrari, okay? We've got a high revving engine, 1.3 litre engine.
Well, we'll get to that in a second.
With an asterisk.
Yeah.
Designed by the Bertone Style House. Style House?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That counts.
At the time when Gandini was the chief designer.
Those are good names, by the way.
Good names.
Bertone, Gandini.
Yeah, you're talking about Mura. You're talking about Lancia Stratos.
There's definitely some Stratos going on in the design of this for sure.
Yeah, you can see,
Right?
and it looks a lot like a Triumph TR7 as well, and like the front and stuff.
I think this is a really cool looking car, but most importantly of all, it's tiny. And you don't really realize how tiny it is until you see someone in it. It is very cool, and it's got a cool color too. What's it called again?
It's Rosso Arancio.
I would describe it as kind of a reddy orange.
Reddy orange.
Yeah.
That's what that means.
Literally.
There you go.
Yeah.
So this is a 1977. It came out in 1974.
Yep.
But it was meant to be a more affordable mid-engined car, like sporty car. So this was $5,000 US new in 77. And it was big in England. And I asked my dad about it.
Yeah.
And I said, Dad, what's the story? And he was like, oh, those were great.
That's exactly how he
My
sounds,
dad's
by the
Steve
way.
Owen.
Yeah.
And his friend had one, and a girlfriend had one. But in England, you don't drive other people's cars because of the way insurance works. So I was like, what was it like to drive? He's like, I don't know. I was
No idea.
I was only a passenger. And £5,000 in GB money was too much for him. So he saved up, and in 1980, for £1,000, he bought an Alfa Sud TI.
Man after my own heart.
Cool looking hatch thing.
Anyway.
Yeah, they made 160,000 of these.
Yes.
And apparently they've all rotted away.
Yeah, except for this one, because this one was from California and it's been imported here. It's actually had quite a long story, basically, to get to this point. This is a little bit of a Restomod. This isn't as original as you might think. Lots of stuff has been done. Suspension's been completely reworked. And
This is the original paint, though.
It is the original paint.
50
yes.
years old, this paint, and it's nicer than a brand new Mercedes SL.
That's actually true. And a little bit disturbing when you say it that way. My car from the same era, which is also a similar color to this, has been repainted that many times.
Can we show a picture? It looks like a
looks like a jawbreaker.
Jawbreaker. yeah, that's what I was thinking Gumball.
For this to be original is pretty amazing. Anyway, the engine, which was originally a
1.3 litre with 62 raging horsepower.
Yeah, it's not that anymore.
Or 63.
So
60s.
So this has actually got the block from a later model, and it has the head from a Fiat Tipo.
Right.
And it's been bored and stroked. Forged pistons, forged connecting rods, all the good stuff. It also has carburetors from Lamborghini old stock. So it's got Lamborghini carbs.
Right.
And it has a 1-2-3 ignition, and the whole thing's been cleaned up and reworked, and the engine bay is beautiful.
Meaty tyres.
Big old tires, yeah.
Which were not stock.
And the interior has been completely redone and reupholstered, and it is beautiful to look at.
And now you're wondering, well, Restomod, they're all like $700,000.
Yep.
Not when you do them at home.
That's right.
This thing is probably about 15 or 20 grand if you can find a mint one.
Yeah.
And this has had like another
15 or grand into it.
So you're looking at basically a brand new MX-5 in price. Curious how the experience matches. Because really you're looking at a mid-engined, high-revving, Italian, manual sports car.
Yeah, it's a monocoque.
I hope so. Getting the Guinness World Book of Records if you've got two of them.
All right, here we go. Everything's so tiny.
It feels tiny.
Why are you so close to me?
I just, emotionally.
Okay, here we go.
So, as much as I'm probably not going to feel that safe on this drive, I have... Oh, wow.
Whoa, she's quick. Oh, man.
50-year-old car. Oh, that's not 50-year-old brakes.
No, the brakes are good.
This came with disc brakes back in the day, not drum brakes. Wow.
Oh, man.
That's raspy.
That is good, though. Oh, I do love a carbureted 4-cylinder. It is one of my favorite sounds. So he's actually completely rebuilt the transmission with like new parts. So it's so nice. Seriously, you'll love it.
Yeah, this was originally a 4-speed, and you can see the
that's
shifter,
right.
but this is actually a 5-speed now.
And he's actually put a limited slip differential in it, a Torsen.
Ah.
So it's
Can you beat a toy roadster?
no, you just
From
can't.
any year.
Like
I don't know what you're thinking. Yeah, but
oh,
it's a death trap. Except it's not. Except it is.
it is.
This is before. Did they care about crumple zones in the 70s?
No.
Right. So here's a fun story I read about this. Wow.
Oh my God, this is fun. Whoa. Okay. Love that.
So back in the day, the US were going to have this really stringent set of safety rules about how a car has to crash at 50 miles an hour. And the manufacturers knew about it, and Bertone, they decided to make it so strong that when they actually did the test, only this and a Volvo passed.
Really?
Every single other car in the US failed, so they didn't go through with the safety regulations.
Interesting.
The roll bar is so stiff and the chassis is so stiff that but again, they didn't care about crumple zone, so you probably still died.
This car wasn't on my radar.
No, of course not.
Like, it
It's an
really
old
wasn't.
Fiat.
I mean, to be fair, this one is very resto-modded. But like, this is just a great driving experience. Oh man. Every minute that goes by, resto mods are more interesting to me. That clutch is a bit difficult.
I think if you picture like an apocalyptic dystopia, the car enthusiasts, they're all going to be, it's all resto mods anyway. It almost feels like it makes sense.
It really does.
That boop, 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 boop.
I love the yeah. Oh man. Oh, what a brilliant little drive. Jeez.
I want to be driving this through Italy.
Oh, can you imagine?
And that tells me that it's winning. Look at these controls.
Oh, this all reminds me of my Alpha Spider. Very similar to my Alpha Spider. I would argue though that the interior on my Alpha Spider is a bit nicer looking. Even though this gauge cluster, it's not the original one. He put this one on from a different car.
Right.
But it's got like Delta Integrale vibes. I really like that. But
Is Alpha, even back then, Alpha would have been above Fiat?
yeah,
right?
yeah.
It was more of
yeah.
an...
Well, Alpha was always a pretty prestigious brand. Not prestigious, but like it held in high regard.
Right.
Because of their history with racing and all that. This is just, it's a brilliant car to drive. You should drive this.
I would love to.
All right, we're gonna do a couple more corners here.
It's the same amount of horsepower
man.
as a new MX-5.
Phenomenal.
400 pounds less weight.
Okay, you got to drive this.
Okay.
We're gonna switch now.
All right, this is a small cabin.
It's very small.
Small cabin.
Yeah.
Yeah. This little Momo, that means airbag there, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. You're safe.
Okay. Oh, I feel that clutch. All right. Little Fiat, let's go. Oh yeah.
Instantly good, right?
Oh.
Right?
Oh yeah.
Woo! Oh man, I like my job sometimes, you know? This is freaking cool.
I'm wearing my sunny Italian car sunny day outfit.
You are, absolutely.
I've worn this
yes.
every time.
Really?
Countach Testarossa. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. That explains the white pants, the Italian vibe. Otherwise, there's no other excuse. Oh, it just sounds so good. For a single overhead cam engine, it sounds brilliant. Carbs do so much to get that throaty force. Oh. Yes.
Wow.
Isn't that just brilliant to drive?
Oh my God.
The steering is good. It's really light.
So it doesn't say fifth gear, I'm gonna go for it.
Okay. Be bold. There's the fifth.
Oh, it's a fifth.
Yeah. It's like in Tofu, when you didn't know you had a sixth.
Just about as much money as Tofu as well. The throttle's quite high, it's hard to heel toe. There's nothing, I go in, there's nothing. Take it slow, buddy.
The throttle response is excellent though, isn't it? Like just...
Well, nothing weighs anything.
Nothing weight, and that's why the steering is light, because the front doesn't weigh anything, right? This is a Targa top, right? The Targa top's in that front hood.
Yeah, it
Right?
doesn't, I imagine it
We've
doesn't weigh
changed the
much.
weight distribution by probably measurable percentages by moving the hard top to the front.
So this was a Fiat 128 engine and transmission originally that Fiat then put behind the drivers
right.
to make it a mid-engine car.
Yes.
And so X is their prototype thing. So there's X everything, but their final numbers, the 124, the 128, that's their actual thing. This kept its prototype name. So X was the prototype thing. Number 1 meant it was a passenger vehicle, and 9 is the 9th passenger vehicle they made. Now for some reason this didn't get a 1-2 this or a 1-3 that.
Interesting. Oh, that's just brilliant.
You know what's nice? It's nice to drive a Restomod that is not $600,000.
Yes, exactly.
Because all of them strive for purity, and like you end up going to these like beautiful mansions of Italian men who've spent their billions
Yeah.
making 20 Restomods of their favorite model.
Yeah.
But it's so nice to be in a homemade one.
And honestly, it's a really, really well done homemade one. This car is incredibly well sorted.
Well, the reason we did this one first is he said, I've got an X19. I was like, yeah, cool. And it makes my Cayman feel like crap. And I was like,
You're like,
we're in.
We're in. Let's see what you got.
I gotta feel second gear again. I gotta feel it. I gotta feel it. Go!
Oh.
How does this compare to your Spider?
Hey,
it feels a lot more
you leave
powerful.
spaghetti out of this conversation.
I think it's a more animated engine. I think it revs up. The Spider goes.
Yeah, well, the Spider this has been built, right? The Spider engine is very torquey. There's not much high revs. But my GT Junior, I think will give this a run for its money when it's done.
All right, we'll see. We'll see.
Oh, man.
Driving Nirvana exists, and it's in the toy roadster category.
100% it is.
Pop.
I feel like I need some sort of a pasta. That's where I'm at.
We can make that happen.
Okay.